Welcome everybody. My name is Jose. I am a Golden in Kendo, and today I'm very excited because we have a guest. He is Francis from Seishō Canada. He is a master craftsman of making kote, Bogu repairs, and so on. He's going to be joining us in a few minutes, and we can ask him all the questions about kote, about maintaining our kote, buying kote. He makes custom-made kotes. Then it's a little bit redundant. And the main reason I wanted to bring him today is so he can explain to us the differences between getting a customized kote versus getting a stock kote. Also, he can give us some tips on how to maintain our Bogu, how to maintain our kote. If you have any questions throughout the stream, feel free to ask them. And overall, I know that he's going to do a little bit something special for us here in Kendo Tips. Give us a little bit of a discount, I think. I'm gonna let him tell us about that. But if you have any questions, again, please shoot him on the chat. If you haven't, please hit the like button so that way this stream gets pushed out to more people. I feel like today is gonna be very informative for many people. And yeah, if you haven't, please subscribe also to the channel. I also want to remind you guys that I opened up the memberships to the channel. So if you'd like to be a member of the channel, you get a bunch of different perks. And you can also send me your videos. We can go about them together. There's a couple of different things that you can get by just being a member, and including access to members only chat and things like that. So that's available for you guys. Let me tell you too that I have a Discord server that you can join, and in there I believe Francis will be joining the Discord server soon too. But you can ask your questions, you can talk to other Kendo people, and overall get to build relationships and friendship in Kendo. So Augusto, thank you for passing by. Welcome to the stream. If I'm correct, you have a relationship with Francis too, right? He helped you understand how to repair your kotes. So hopefully he can do that for more people today. Hidrología Ambiente, good afternoon from Italy. What city of Italy are you in? Thank you for passing by the way. And today, let's see how much can we learn about kote, in general too, about fixing your kote. And how's everybody doing today? I'm very excited for today's stream. Byzantios, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Thank you for passing by. Again, guys, if you could please hit the like button. Let me tell you about the plan for Francis' questions. Let me pull out my questions. What I did is I have a bunch of questions that you guys either send me or questions that I have when it comes to kote and Bogu in general. I divided it in 3 sections. The first one is a little bit about his history and joining in the Kendo world, the Bogu making world. Another thing, and the next section is about the things that we should know when thinking about kote, about buying kote. What should we keep in mind? Another section is how to make our kote last longer. What can we do to maintain it, to keep it healthy? And the last section is going to be about Kendo repairs, Bogu repair. What can we learn today from Bogu repair? I'm also thinking about asking him, see if he will be willing to do kind of like a little bit of a seminar with us or something. Maybe I have to think about it. How can we make it happen? That way he can maybe teach us some secrets and tips on making repairs, especially because I know many countries it's really hard to make it accessible, to make it to send your things to repair. So a lot of the repairs have to be in-house, I guess. And the big question is also, where does he get his leather from? That's a big question I always get from people. Anyways, let's see. We have a few people on the stream. What I want to do is I want to let a little bit of people join us, just to make sure that, you know, he has a good audience. So let me start setting up my Discord so I can call him in. Okay, let me see. Okay, I got him right here. Now, what I also did is that I have a few kotes with some problems that I've gotten from friends and people, donations that I'm going to send overseas. I mean, to back to Venezuela. So for him to kind of like guide us too about some of the things when it comes to making sure that we can still use the Kote when the Kote is done, or can we still make repairs? Some things like I don't know if you can see this damage. Yeah, you can see it from over here, right? Like there, like the fabric is coming out. So I kind of want to know what he has to say about when things like this happen. Is the Kote, obviously the Kote is still functional, but what can we do to make sure that this doesn't get bigger? I want to talk about this shape right here as well. You see this little cone shape looking thing that I feel like is too tight. I want to avoid this. So anyways, you can let me know you're here, guys, by just saying hello in the chat, or please hitting the like button so the stream gets pushed out to more people out there. Okay, let me start bringing Francis in. Let me call him in. And again, guys, if you would like, you can join the Discord server, which I don't know why the Discord server didn't show up in the... Francis, can you hear me? Perfect. Give me 1 second to set you up here. Okay. Okay, you can see me perfect too, right? So you know Augusto, right? He's in the stream right now. He said he has so many questions for you. I think we all do. We all do. Okay. Is not coming through your headphones, the audio? Okay. I can. I can hear you. Yes. Can you make the phone horizontal, please? Let me just pop out the screen so people can see you better. Okay. How do I make you? Okay, I got you bigger, and you should be. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, so there he is. Let me just make him bigger here so I can see you better. And let's see, let me catch up with some of the comments. So Augusto says, so many questions. Oh, but he has to go to practice. So on the way that I section the stream, because I told everybody, I'll tell you in a second, the idea of the stream, but he said he makes it more relaxed and he's gonna have to watch it later. So, okay, the idea that I have today, Francis, is I want to divide the stream in 3 sections. The first one's gonna be a little bit of introduction. I wanna ask, how did you get into all this? But I wanna talk about buying Kote, about repairing Kote, and maintaining Kote, right? And of course, I wanna also talk about your shop and what you do and everything that you've been doing, which I think is amazing. So we have a few people from Argentina. Christian, thank you for passing by. Welcome. Let me ask you this, because I know we have a lot of people from overseas. Do you ship overseas? Okay. Oh, you're gonna have to speak louder. Let me see. Speak, talk.
Try again.
Okay. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now you're super loud for me, so let me make sure that.
Okay, good.
Okay. Speak.
Yeah. Is it
Oh.
working?
Okay, yes. Avi, welcome to the stream. Actually, I want to ask him about Kote for Nito as well, so if you stick around, you might hear that answer. Josh Chan says hello to Francis.
Hi.
Okay, so everybody, this is Francis from Seishō Bogu. I know, Seishō Canada, right? It's not Seishō Bogu, correct? Okay, sorry. And he is somebody that has managed to learn the secrets of making kote. I think he makes amazing kote so much. He learned from the guy that makes my favorite kote, and I saw his post for months, and I had no idea it was Francis because they look so good. They are so good. And if you haven't seen his work, your website is seishōcanada.com, right?
Yeah.
Let me write it down here just to make sure everybody can also start getting the link if you would like to see his work. Let me just post the
Same
link.
on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Seishō Canada.
So guys, if you like, you should go check it out. Avi, he does ship to Europe. He ships everywhere, and you also take repairs from everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Francis, tell us a little bit about your Kendo background. How did you get into Kendo? A little bit of, your experience in Kendo.
Yeah. So I started Kendo 12 years ago now at the Montreal Kendo Club in Montreal, Canada. Why did I join Kendo? I'm not quite sure actually. I don't know why I joined Kendo, but I did. 12 years ago, I did my first class, and then I just stuck around for 12 more years. I don't know what pushed me to go. I saw it on YouTube. I said, "Oh, that looks cool." I tried, and that was it.
Nice. So YouTube was your trigger point, not anime, not a friend. Just
No, anime came after because I was in Kendo. Well, I was watching Naruto, but I can't say anime pushed me to do Kendo. It came after, I think.
Nice.
Anime and manga. Yeah.
And you lived in Japan too for a while, right?
Yeah. I went 3 times to Japan. First 2 times were 2 months, and last time was 10 months.
Okay. And okay, and we'll because this is how you got into the Kote world. So tell us a little bit about how did you get into the Kote world?
Okay. So the craftsmen from Shogun Kendogu, they came to Montreal 7 years ago now.
Okay.
They came to Montreal to promote their brand, and they came to my dojo to practice. Then we went for a beer after, and I was sitting right in front of the craftsmen. And I always liked sewing. So I had made like a leather tsuba.
Okay.
But a very crappy one, a super bad one. I made a leather tsuba, and somebody told him that I made that. So he wanted to see it. Oh, that's interesting. I want to see. So I went to the car, I got the tsuba, I showed him, and he was impressed. Wow, you do leather work. That's nice. He showed it to the other craftsman. He said it was nice also, but it was super bad, but he was impressed that I was doing something with leather. And right away he invited me to come to Japan. He said, "Do you want to come to Japan, learn how to make kote?" I had nothing at the time. I didn't like my job, my apartment. I didn't like it. I had no girlfriend, so I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll go."
Nice. So you took the
like
lead.
That.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And So the first couple times you went as a tourist,
Yeah.
and then
So first time I went, yeah, it was a tourist, no visa. I went there. I worked for free. Basically, most days, every day, 5 days a week, I'd say. I worked and then visited during the weekend. And then I came home. That was it. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. It was a great time. And a year later, I missed it. I wanted to learn more about the craft. So I wrote to him, can I come again? Maybe. Can I come again? He said, yeah, sure. Come again. So I went the second time. Still worked for free. I went with my girlfriend actually the second time. She worked as well in the workshop. Yeah, I worked for free 2 months again, and then he saw that I was more serious about it, so he offered me a job for 10 months.
Nice. So when he did that, he had to process your visa. You stay there for the full 10 months, and you managed to learn all this stuff.
Yeah, it was working holiday visa, so I was supposed to work maximum 20 hours a week. That's the visa, but it was more than that. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what the Japanese culture work is, so you definitely
Yeah.
you get paid for the 20, but you keep going for the experience, right?
Also, yeah, exactly. I wanted to learn as much as possible because I had only 10 months. So yeah, 20 hours a week is not enough.
Cool. That's awesome. I'm just gonna let everybody know. So Augusto and Isoci Media. No, Isoci Ano Media. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm totally doing that. I know you left some questions. I wrote the questions down. I will ask them in different sections. Okay. Just so you know, I'm not ignoring you. Just letting you know. Okay. So I know in your website the most prominent thing that is there is that you make kote, right? What else do you do besides making kote?
So basically, yeah, I make kote, custom kote, and I repair or alter anything else on the Bogu.
Okay.
So if you want shorter mendare, if you want to repair your kote or repair your men, change the himo, change the do chichikawa, change the mune. Actually, I can do that too.
Okay.
So yeah, I do everything related to repair and alterations on the whole Bogu.
Okay. One that you didn't mention, but I'm sure you do, the replacement or making longer tare himo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, tare himo as well.
Yeah, I figured you could do that, but just making sure put out there, because especially sometimes I feel that people they rip. This is the first part that goes away, but the tie is perfectly fine, and some people might want to do longer. What's it called? Longer himo as well.
Yeah.
Augusto says, "Oh, he will love shorten his mendare." Okay, well, you know where to go or who to send it to.
Yeah.
Any plans in the future to moving up from just kote? Are you thinking about at some point a little more?
Yeah, so I'm actually working on designing my own sets of Bogu, but I don't think I'm gonna make any other parts than the kote, because it's hard enough as it is doing kote, and then learning how to do a men or do. It's a different craft.
Okay.
In Japan there's a different craftsman for different parts, and so people, they concentrate on one piece of equipment. For example, the men, there's a men craftsman or do craftsman.
Okay.
I think it's better that way because you can really go deeper in the craft. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make other parts, but I'm currently working on designing full set Bogu.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So coming soon.
coming soon. Nice, nice, nice. Well, the
Yeah.
best thing you can do too is just have 4 kids and just make each of them master of one piece of the Bogu, right?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'll send them to Japan.
There you go. There you go. Okay, big things, because I know this is something that we're gonna be talking about a lot, and it's going to make. I always in my channel I like to try to stay only in English, so that way there's no confusion in the words. But I know it's much easier to say the words that we know, like kamai, stuff like this. So, can you please tell us about the parts of the kote? Like, what are the names, and each part of the kote, so we are on the same page.
Sure. And can you see okay? This Kote?
Yes, I just want to get a pen real quick, just
Okay.
to make sure that I have extra notes here. So give me 1 second. Okay. Got it. So
Like
there we
this?
go. Yes,
that okay?
perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So I'll go basic. This part is the futon.
Okay.
Futon means a mattress, basically. In
Okay.
Japanese. Like a futon for sleeping. Same thing. Futon. This is the tekubi. Tekubi is the wrist.
Mm-hmm.
So the wrist portion where it bends. This part here is the namako.
Okay.
Sometimes there's the double namako. I don't have a example right now.
Is it like this?
Sometimes there's two.
Like this?
Cool. Like this.
Okay.
Cool.
Your sound is
Yeah.
cutting off. Can you repeat? Hold on. Give it a second, because your sound is cutting
This-
off.
I mean,
Can you hear me?
thi-
Hello? Can you hear me? I think we're having some connection problems. Your connection is kind of slow.
can you hear
Oh,
me?
yeah, you come in and out. Hello? Hello, can you hear me? Tobias, thank you for passing by. Sorry, we're having a little bit of technical issues. What I'm gonna do, Francis, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I think you moving better. I'm gonna try calling you again. Okay. Okay. Christian, give us 1 second. I will repeat that for you. Give me 1 second. Let me just turn this off real quick. Oh, wait, hold on. But I believe the part that you're talking about is called the namako. Okay, can you hear me, Francis? Hello? Yeah, technology is fun, right? Christian, the name of the part that he was talking about is called the namako. I just sent you the thing. I will tell him to restart his Okay, I just told him to restart and call me again. So let me keep you guys entertained and tell you a little bit about some of the following questions that I have. So I kind of want him to tell us the different parts of the kote, so we're all in the same page. So far, he was talking about the futon, the tekubi, and the namako. and I kind of want to ask him about how all these parts can be changed to make better performance. Okay, I'm getting the call now. Say something.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let me pop you out here
Okay.
on the screen. And don't worry, we're pretty understanding here. So
I
people
don't know what
understand.
happened there.
Listen, it's technology. Nothing
Yeah.
to do about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we stopped at the namako, and you said that some kotes have the double namako, like this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And okay, next.
Okay. I'll keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Atama.
Okay.
Atama means head. The
Okay.
head. Knees. This part is the tenouchi.
Okay. Francis, give us 1 second. I think
Or
there's a
the-
delay on the moment that the sound comes in. So you said the tenouchi for the palm. There's a little bit of delay on the audio. Can you hear me? Okay, now I cannot hear you. I see you moving, but I couldn't hear
Yeah.
you.
Oh.
Hmm. Let me see. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know. We're having a little bit of connection problems. We'll get through this. Let me see. If anybody has any suggestions, do you guys think that this core may be a little bit too heavy on his connection? Yeah, I think he's using his phone. He's in his workshop, so I don't know how big. I'll tell him to move closer to the router. Okay. So hold on. Let me read everybody's comments as we go through. Okay, he wants to do messenger. Okay. From. Okay, we're gonna switch platforms, guys, just to make sure that we discard. So let me close this thing down here. Okay, maybe I had some connection issues here too. What's going on? I'm plugged directly into the router, so I'm sorry, guys, that we're going through this. Um, Let me see. Let me try to find him. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to find him, guys. We're gonna switch to Facebook, I guess. Okay. Okay. Christian, you're saying why some Kote have one or more Namako? It's only designs or functionality. That's going to be my next that's going to be my next question. And Avi, I know Discord's usually great, but maybe because he's using it through the phone, he's having you know, some problems. No idea. Well, the good thing is that I'm learning how to deal with all this stuff as quick as possible. Okay, I got him. Got him on video. Okay, Francis, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Can everybody hear Francis? Say something, Francis.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you perfect. I think they can hear you because I see the levels moving. Now I just need to put you on the screen.
Okay, I'm no longer in my workshop, so
Okay.
sorry about that.
No, no problem. Okay, everybody can hear you and no delay as well.
Okay, good.
Guys, how is the volumes between his voice? Let me see. Hold on. Talk, Francis, please.
Sorry?
Just keep talking so I can put you the right volume, I guess.
Yeah, so how can you hear me? Is
Okay.
that clear?
I think it's clear. Okay. Is he clear or not? Because I just pull up his volume, so he should be fine now. Okay, it's okay now. Perfect. Okay, good. We're good. We're back in business. Let me just make sure that now your video I need to fix. Hold on. Okay. Okay, let me just do this real quick. Okay, perfect. Pokemon, you're saying to bring up his sound just a little bit. Okay, no problem. I can do that. He should be fine now. Okay, so Francis, let's keep going.
Yeah.
So sorry for all this problem. So we stopped at the tenouchi. So we passed from the atama to tenouchi. What's next?
Okay, now. Okay, so tenouchi, the leather palm.
Mm-hmm.
Next is the himo. So
Okay.
the strings or the cord. Himo.
Mm-hmm.
For kote, that's pretty much it. That's
So-
the basics. Yeah.
Just because I know we're gonna be talking about kote repairs and so on, the lip of the kote, the leather lip, does it have a name?
Yeah. Herigawa.
Hebi gawa.
Heri. H-E-R-I.
E.
Sorry, my English is
No, it's no problem.
heri.
Herigawa. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it means
Um,
leather edge.
okay, leather
Kawa
edge.
is leather, and heri is like edge.
Okay.
Herigawa.
So somebody dropped the questions while we were having all the technical difficulties. The namako, is there a reason for having two for functionality, or is it just design style?
I don't like double namako. I don't know what they're used for. I don't know why you would have two separate, smaller namako.
Okay.
I just don't see the point. It's more rigid. There's a added stitch
Okay.
because there's two, and stitches are what makes the kote more rigid.
I see.
So I really don't see the point in a double namako.
Okay. Makes it more
I
rigid.
don't like them. I don't use them. Yeah.
But you will do them if they ask you to.
No. For new kote, I don't. I'll repair them, no problem. But I'm not gonna make a kote with the double namako.
I like that. You know you have your preferences.
Yeah.
Best answer so far. Okay. Let me see. We're moving on for. Okay. Now that we're talking a little bit about functionality and design and style, also about the materials. What materials are used in building the kote, and maybe some benefits for different ones and so on.
Yeah. So I'll grab a few different pairs. This one. Okay. So first you have orizashi, like this one I showed.
Okay.
This is the same material as a kendogi or judogi, whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see correctly,
Yes.
but
Yes.
yeah. So that's the first. I actually I have several types of orizashi.
Okay.
So this is the regular one that most Bogu shop will use.
Okay.
Might be hard to see the difference on the camera, but I also use Bushuichi orizashi. Here's their logo.
Okay.
This is orizashi that is traditionally made in Japan with real aizome, real indigo dye, 100% natural.
Okay.
So the color fades much better on these ones because it's true indigo dye.
Okay.
No chemicals. There's this type, and then there's the like bigger orizashi pattern. I
Okay.
don't know if you can see the difference, but one has a like big
The
big
stitching.
waves.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the stitching is bigger, so it's a bit stronger. This one.
Okay.
After that, you have of course deerskin. This is deerskin.
Okay.
This is the best. This will last the longest, deerskin. And you have a synthetic leather
Okay.
or clarino, whatever
Okay.
the name is. This I don't use. I don't like it. Again, I don't see the point in using this. So yeah.
You don't see the point in using it in which way? Because it's the cost material is pretty much the same as getting it orizashi and so on.
No, the cost material is lower because if you can imagine like an animal skin,
Yeah.
it's organic, so you can't use all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the edges are too thin,
Okay.
and around like the butt of the deer or the cow, it's very thick. So
Okay.
you can't use these parts.
Okay.
So you lose a lot of leather. A synthetic leather, it's like a roll of fabric. You
Yeah.
can use all of it, so
Mhm.
it's much more cost efficient.
Okay. And when it comes to why do you don't feel that it's useful to have clarino in the atama?
Because it doesn't stretch, or
Okay.
it hardly stretch.
Uh-huh.
Leather will stretch and form to your hands.
Mm-hmm.
So with time, the kote get better if they're made out of leather. Synthetic leather doesn't do that, and it's supposed to last longer. It's better for friction,
Mm-hmm.
but once it starts to break, it's over. It'll go bad so quickly. So I'm not quite sure it really lasts longer.
I see.
And you often see that on the palm with synthetic palms.
Yeah.
At some point, it becomes so thin that the whole hand can go through it, right? There's big holes here or here.
I
It
see.
doesn't do that with leather. It starts with a really small hole and takes time for the hole to get bigger.
I see. I see. And between orisashi and okay, so what is the benefit of orisashi over clarino?
Yeah, so orizashi is lighter, much
Mhm.
lighter. So for competition or hard physical practice, maybe orizashi is better.
Okay.
It also dries a bit faster, but again, that depends on how you dry your equipment more than the material itself.
Yeah. Isocia no media. It's hard for me to say your name, so I'm just gonna say Iso. So Iso is saying that he loves orisashi, and I love orisashi too. A lot of the reasons
Yeah.
for that is like it dries quicker, and I feel
Yeah.
that once you get the good fit, like if you find a good fit, it like it's done, right? Like you have it and it's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's good. Let me see. I don't know if I missed. Oh, okay. So what about the materials for inside of the kote as well?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be right back because I'm not in my work.
So I do love the orisashi as well. Once I found out about orisashi, that has been my preferred type of kote. For me, I feel like it just gets quicker to the shape that it needs to be. So I prefer orisashi. Okay. And the next question, I want to know about the materials you say, and I know there's some differences between some organic and synthetic materials as well. So
Okay, I'm back.
perfect,
Sorry.
not a problem.
Okay, I can show you the difference. Where is it? Oh, this one. Between other kote and mine. It'll be hard to see on this one, but usually the inside of the kote is made of cotton.
Uh-huh.
Most of the time, it's made of cotton. Under the top layer, there's usually newspaper. That is because the deer hair can poke through the top material, whatever the material is, orizashi or deer skin. The deer hair can actually poke through.
Okay.
You can have little pieces of deer hair. So usually they glue newspaper under the top layer.
Okay.
My kote are different. I do differently. This is kote atama that's not finished. It's not filled. So of course the outside layer. This one in this case is orizashi. I don't use newspaper. I don't see why you use a newspaper or paper in a kote. So I use actually a layer of cotton under the top layer.
I see.
This is better because once you get a hole on the outside, now your deer hair doesn't come out.
Okay.
with newspaper, newspaper is so fragile that if you make a hole on the outside, the newspaper will break right away and the whole thing will come
Not
out.
only that, I can guess that with the sweat and so on, the newspaper
Yeah.
will start gunking. Like,
Yeah, it breaks down. Yeah, exactly.
okay,
The outside of my Kote are all synthetic leather, all of it.
okay. The
This is
outside.
the inside. Sorry,
Okay.
the inside. See, so the outside is orizashi,
Uh-huh.
and the inside is synthetic leather.
Okay.
This is better because, like I said, synthetic leather is better for friction,
Mm-hmm.
and on the inside of the Kote, usually your fingers or your fingernails will rub slightly
Okay.
on the fabric, so it lasts longer than the cotton. Usually the cotton with the fingernails, you poke a small hole in it, and then because cotton is a weaved fabric,
Uh-huh.
once you break those threads, the
Yeah.
hole just goes
Much
bigger.
bigger.
Yeah.
How is that for making the cote shape to your hand and so on?
So this synthetic leather is quite thin.
Okay.
It's not the thick type for the outside of the cote.
So it's like
So
a fabric.
It's quite thinner. It's not a fabric. It's really like a synthetic leather, like you can see on the outside, but it's thinner, much thinner, and
No,
actually
what I'm saying is it feels like a fabric. It feels more like a fabric. That's what you're saying?
no.
Okay.
It really feels like a synthetic leather.
Okay, okay.
Except this one can stretch.
Big difference. Okay.
Yes, big difference.
So your selection of materials, you really put some thought on each
Yes.
modification that
Yes.
you're doing. Okay. I like that. Let me see. And this is something that I never seen before, because you're right. Every cote, I can pretty much open up every cote that I have, and they will have this cotton.
Yes.
This cotton.
Yes.
Have you, in your experience, have you seen anybody else in Japan using these techniques?
Only Shogun Kendo.
Yes. Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
And again, they do make great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
And from my point of view,
Mhm.
from a craftsman point of view, most kote I repair with cotton inside. Once I remove the tenuchi,
Mhm.
there's holes. There's holes around these fingers,
Yes.
here and here. Every kote I repaired with synthetic leather in Japan
Uh-huh.
had no holes. None of them had holes. So there's a big difference in the inside material.
Yes, I can see.
Yeah.
So because this is a question that somebody asked earlier, I feel like it was Augusto, and it has to do also with the parts of the kote. I want you to tell us a little bit. So what is the kazari?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot this one. Okay. This is the kazari. These fancy knots.
Uh-huh.
So kazari means decoration
Uh-huh.
in Japanese. So there's actually another stitch under this, which helps the kote bend.
Okay.
And then they add the kazari, the decorations on top.
Okay, I see.
I don't make these types of kazari. I do machine stitch kazari, because like I said, kazari means decoration.
Uh-huh.
It's only decoration, takes time to do, a lot of time actually, many hours to do all of these and these. So it's long. The time the craftsman uses to put decoration on the kote is time that is not spent on a good fit or on a good build.
Yeah.
So my opinion, it's better to do machine stitch like this because it's much faster.
Okay.
And it looks more modern as well.
I see.
Less traditional, but
okay.
I think it's better.
No, not only that, and because the question about the kasari is that somebody says that they have a short kasari that makes his cote stiff. So is there anything that can be done to make it more flexible, I guess, once you have this.
Well, how old is the Kote?
Oh, they didn't say that. Let's assume that is.
If it's new,
Mhm.
the best is which one can fit my. So if it's new, the best is to use first wear the Kote.
Mhm.
Use a wooden mallet or rubber mallet. I suggest you hold a shinai the
Mhm.
proper way,
Yeah.
and then you lightly hit the padding with the hammer.
Okay.
Lightly, okay? Don't go super hard, but no metal hammer, wood or rubber only.
Okay.
This is first thing I would do if they're new. If they're new.
Okay.
Second is work on the tekubi.
Okay.
You know, do movements like this to make it more flexible. These two are the main things I would say. But if the Kote is, I don't know, a few months old, like 4 or 6 months old, there's nothing else you can do. This is the maximum you're gonna have.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. What about the filling? Tell us. I know you use deer hair, correct, for inside of the
Yes.
atama. So
Yes.
somebody in the chat asked about what about horse hair as well, but also what are some of the other materials that are used inside of the kote, and what are some of the benefits or hindrance of
Yeah,
having
so
that?
I use deer hair only. I don't use synthetic fillings. Deer hair breaks down with time.
Okay.
So it breaks into, it starts as a long hair and it
Mhm.
breaks into little pieces
Mhm.
that forms to your hand better. And actually, why it's deer hair and not horse hair or other animals is, well, I don't know about too much about other animals, but the deer hair is actually empty inside. It's like a straw.
I see.
So it has good structure, but it's light. Lightweight.
Okay.
So that's why we use deer hair.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't like synthetic fillings because they don't really form to your hand.
It's
Yeah.
it's hard to get a good fit, even if it's custom made, right? Because
Yes.
throughout time
Yes.
you won't be able to get really that custom feel that is molded to your head.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I also seen something about like cotton or wool. Are these other substitutes that you can put inside?
I've never tried any of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not quite sure. Wool is pretty heavy and it tends to like
Clump.
ball up.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be a good material.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, deer hair is the best. So if you want a good pair, buy with deer hair.
Deer hair.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's say that I'm brand new or I don't know much about kote. What should I be looking for when buying a kote?
First thing I think is a material.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, first question you should ask yourself is, what do you want?
Mm.
Do you want a kote for a competition or for a motodachi, for everyday practice? What do you want? That's the first thing.
Okay. Let's break it down a little bit on those three examples, right? So if I want one for everyday practice, what should I look for?
So everyday practice, I would say, is deer skin is better because it's gonna last longer. Yeah, it's a bit heavier. It takes a bit more time to shape to your hands, but it will last longer. So if you're looking for everyday kote for many years, I would go for deer skin for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What about for motodachi?
Motodachi is mostly, I would say, the futon, the mattress.
Mm-hmm.
Some companies, they make the futon thicker, or they have an option for motodachi where the futon is thicker, more padding. That I think is best for motodachi. So like this one is a double futon.
Okay.
This is my Kote.
Mm-hmm.
Double futon, so it's really a thick padding for
Okay.
motodachi. Yeah.
And what about for competition? I think this is the big question because everybody wants the edge in competition.
Yes. Yeah. So for competition, orizashi is better. Orizashi will form quickly to your hands. You know, a few practice, it'll be formed. It's super light. It dries fast. So that's best. If you go on websites and you want something for competition, you should look for jisengata.
Mm-hmm.
Jisengata means shaped for real combat, shaped for competition.
Yeah.
So these types of bogu are normally lighter, thinner, and made of orizashi.
Okay. You talked about the shape. What are the shape for kote for competition different from the others?
Yeah. So I would say most important is I don't have my pencil. The tekubi.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the wrist portion, the tekubi.
Okay.
This might be a bit hard to see on the pictures, but some kote have very short tekubi.
Okay.
Very short. And some have longer tekubi.
Okay.
So the tekubi is what helps your wrist move. If the tekubi is very short, you're gonna have trouble moving your hands and your wrist. If it's long, you're gonna have great mobility.
Okay.
The downside is the tekubi part has less padding. So the bigger it is, the more of your forearm you expose. So if you get a hit on the tekubi, it might hurt a bit more than on the futon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Also, I noticed at the edge of the futon, right? Like some kote have like a more pronounced curvature at the end.
Yes. This actually changed a few years ago. The kote you had on the left, I assume, is Shogun Kendo.
Yes.
Yeah. So before they used to make it deeper, the futon, but the rules change. So now you cannot have it too deep.
Okay.
So that's why now it's pretty standard. All the kote are the same.
Okay.
Almost. Yeah, you cannot go that deep anymore.
So this
So
is
if you go
illegal now.
Yes, exactly. This is illegal, but nobody checks.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay, I have it. Oh, I feel good. I have illegal kote, you know? That's so cool. So I have a question here. What type of musen do you use for the kote futon? Kodai musen? So that's the question.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch the word.
So he said, what type of mosen or musen do you use for the kote futon? I'm guessing is the inside of the kote?
Like the felt?
The
padding, like what I put inside the futon?
So Hidrología, if you're still here, please send the question with a little bit of clarification so we can talk about that. Oh, he says, mosen is the felt that is inserted between the layers of wool, padding inside of the futon.
I can show you.
Okay. Kakari Geiko, what Tenouchi leather do you recommend for super sweaty hands? One of his kote with macro punch Tenouchi dry very quickly, but don't look like they're going to last too long. Okay, I'll ask him that question in a second. I also want to know why they make it illegal, but I'm just happy. I guess like Francis, I guess you just gave me an excuse to buy a new set of kote, right?
Yeah. Okay, so what I use inside is a combination of many materials.
Okay.
First, like the core is that felt, I'm not quite sure how you call it, but it's synthetic.
Yeah, like
synthetic felt that is actually made for kote. So it's none of that. Some company use like recycled mattress products. this felt is made for making kote.
Okay, I see.
So it's one material all the way across, about a centimeter thick.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I add wool, 100% wool layers.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what the client asks, I can put more or less wool, so it gives more or less
More
padding.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Now, somebody asked, what tenuchi do you recommend for extra sweaty hands? Because he has the micro punch ones and they dry
Yeah.
quickly, but he says he doesn't feel it's gonna last long.
Yeah. It's hard to say, really hard to say for sweaty hands. There's some kote that are made with cotton, actually, for the tenuchi. This is not really common, but you can find them.
Mm-hmm.
This, I would say, might be the best, because the problem is with leather, it's not really the moisture, but it's more the salt that is contained in the sweat that will damage the leather. It will actually accumulate on the leather, and then the leather becomes brittle. It'll crack and it'll tear up easy. I would say, yeah, maybe cotton, but there's really not much you can do if you have sweaty hands. It's just that, you know, that's Kendo. The kote are gonna be wet and sweaty, and they're gonna break at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's life, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and as we go, I'm also writing some other stuff. So, what about leathers when it comes to, I mean, the tenuchi for motodachi competition, everyday practice? What is your suggestions?
Okay, so there's basically four types of tenuchi. Now, I just said the cotton. This is like uncommon, so it's like a fifth one.
Yeah.
But the four types. There's a smoked deerskin, which is the most common, I feel. There's white deerskin. There's a synthetic leather and micro punch.
Okay.
So smoked deerskin, like this.
Yeah.
You know, the brown leather. White is like this. Synthetic. This is a kid's kote, but synthetic looks like smoked deerskin, but the feeling is completely different.
Okay.
And micro punch I don't have here, but basically micro punch is synthetic leather with small holes in it.
Okay.
For drying faster. I would say, again, it depends on what you want. So smoked deerskin is the best all around.
Okay.
So because it's deerskin, it'll stretch, it'll form to your hand. But because it's smoked, it will last longer. It's better with friction. The best for the fit is the white deerskin. The white deerskin stretches easily and stretches quickly. So that's the best for, let's say, Jisengata or competition. I would go for white deerskin. It doesn't last as long as the smoke, but it shapes much better and it's softer, so the feeling on the shinai is much better. I prefer the white deerskin. After synthetic leathers, they're supposed to last the longest, but like I said in the beginning, once they go bad, they go bad really quickly. You're gonna get a big hole in them. So they're supposed to last longer, but they don't fit really well to the hands. Synthetic leather usually doesn't stretch, so or it stretches on a long period. They can be comfortable at the end of their lives when the leather is really thin. And now they're comfortable, but they're gonna break soon. So I don't usually recommend synthetic leather. Some people prefer it because it's very grippy. Like the feeling on the shinai is so grippy and doesn't get slippery with time. So some people prefer this, but again, the fit is not really good.
I see. Okay. Alkis, yes, life is sweaty, so we know. We have to deal with that. Okay, big question, and I think this is the question that, you know, it can be very polarizing. How many kotes should I have?
One pair per practice per week, I would say, is the golden number. So if you practice 3 times a week, 3 pairs. If you practice 2 times, 2 pair. If you only practice one pair. If you practice 6 times a week, 6 pair of kote.
Nice, nice. I
Yeah,
like that as
yeah.
this answer. Plus the one for competition, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Let's see. Sorry, I kind of move my mouse and I move my questions around. Oh, I wanted to ask you too about what about those brown-looking cotes, the like skin-looking cotes, not on the palm, but on the cote itself. What's the deal with
Yeah.
them?
They're smoked deerskin kotes.
Uh huh.
They're all made of smoked deerskin. I actually made a pair a few weeks ago. What's the deal? I don't know. I guess it's a showpiece because smoked deerskin is not. I don't think is better than indigo deerskin.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like the smell, so the whole cote smells smoky.
Yes.
That could be nice, but yeah, I think it's more like a showpiece.
So what does the indigo does for what's the benefit of the indigo?
Traditionally, with real indigo, like I talked earlier with the orizashi, real natural indigo is made with leaves from a plant,
Yes.
and it actually has benefits. It's antibacterial, repels odor, repels mosquitoes and other types of bugs, stuff like that. So that's why traditionally farmers and craftsmen, they would dye their clothing indigo, aizome.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's called the blue of Japan, because everybody was wearing aizome at one point because of all of these properties. Nowadays, it's a chemical dye, so there's no benefits to the dye. It's
I
just
see.
for like keeping the tradition.
Yes.
Kendo is blue, so everything still is blue.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, if I'm having mosquito problems around, I just need to go do Kendo, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Nice, nice. Oh, so I'm guessing that at your shop you don't have mosquitoes then.
No.
Nice. Okay, so let's start talking a little bit about when I'm getting my kote. What is the proper fit for the kote?
The proper fit, again, it depends on what you like. Some people like it tighter, some people like it loose. So that you will have to decide. But I would say the best fit is if you can hold the shinai properly when the kote are new, brand new, or very close to properly, then this is a good fit. If you feel like you cannot grip the shinai as well with the kote than without the kote, then probably it's not a good fit.
Okay. And I'm gonna just talk about my experience. I bought a pair of cotes, like cheap kote, that it just feels that I couldn't get a good grip on the palm, like on this part area, right? I can have a good feel here, maybe a good feel here, but this area just wasn't getting. Does it has to do with maybe the way the angle in which the leather was cut, or some?
It's more the sewing, how they sew the kote. I have an example here. This is not my kote. It's an old one, but you can see the shape of the atama, right? It's more like a fist, a hammer, where a good one would be maybe like this.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can see, but it goes more like this.
Like okay.
And like this.
Okay, I see.
So that's important because you want to put strength on your pinky finger. If the kote is more like a fist, then the emphasis is on the index and the thumb rather than on the pinky. And so it becomes hard to grip the shinai because you have to put more force to bend the kote and actually reach the shinai.
I see.
So that might be why you feel like it's a bad grip,
Yeah.
because like the emphasis is not on the right parts of the hand, so maybe you can't hold the shinai properly and it starts to slip
I see.
in the
I see.
palm.
I see. So Osidio Vivo asked if you're gonna be at the Montreal Taikai.
Yes, I will.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah,
I'm
come and
so
see me.
glad. I'm so glad that you guys over there in Canada are making more events and so on. I feel like United States is being a little bit slower on getting back on the horse on that. So okay, cool. So you might see him over there. I wish I could join you too. Okay, I had this question already. I kind of asked this question, but if you have something else to say, what makes competition Kote different from regular Kote? But I think you answered this question already, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of ask you this too. Is like, should we have Kote competition and Kote for practice? But my question is there an option for both? Right?
Yeah, I would say again, deerskin. Something all around is a deerskin cote with regular padding. So not too much padding and not thinner padding.
Okay.
Would be like the all around cote, in my opinion.
Okay. Now, for somebody that's getting hit and it's hurting, is there anything that they can do to improve, or like lower the amount of pain that they get?
Again, I would say double padding is the best option. I can maybe show the different. So these are my own kote, the Jisengata, and this futon is quite thin compared to this one, which is much thicker.
Okay, I see.
So
yes.
If you have wrist pain or forearm pain, I would go for a double futon.
Okay.
You can buy some like protectors.
Okay.
On some Bogu shop. That could help, but yeah, it's mainly the futon is the part.
Cool.
That you should look for.
Nice. Do you have any cool modifications that you have in mind for your kote? Do you have any cool requests that you have gotten that you can share with us?
Not so much, because I don't like to diverge from my main kote. The most I do is changing the kazari color. You might have seen them with the California Budogu. So white kazari or gold kazari, whatever. Yeah. I would say this is as far as I will go. I don't like to do crazy stuff.
You like to focus on the functionality of the kote rather than the look.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, because that's the feel I get, especially everything we talked about. Okay, so this next section, it's a little bit more of kote maintenance, and maybe we talk a little bit of a kote repair. So, of course, I know we want to give you the business of repairing our kote, but we want the kote to last as long as possible. So, how can we clean our kote?
Cleaning. I don't actually recommend washing the kote, especially if the tenuchi is still on, because the water and the minerals in the water will attack the leather. It will become dry and brittle after. So I don't recommend washing them, especially not with detergent. If you really want to wash them, just use hot water. That's it. The only time when I wash kote is when I repair them. When I remove that tenuchi, I remove it, the old one. Then I wash the kote and I put the new one. That's the best way to go. I would say for maintenance is mostly drying it correctly, removing the wrinkles on the tenuchi. You gotta stretch it when you're done.
Okay.
So that way the kote stays open and doesn't dry like all close up.
Yeah, and the minerals don't deposit on these folds, in which is because normally they break in these folds, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. And one more thing is, two more things actually. If you have a small hole, on the Kote, repair it right away by yourself or send it to me, but repair it right away. If you wait, then this hole become bigger, 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 and gets worse. And at some point, I cannot patch the hole. I have to change the whole thing. So it's better if you have a small hole to fix it right away, especially on the outside too. A small hole is easy to patch. Big hole becomes a problem. Then I have to do a big patch and the Kote becomes stiff and uncomfortable. So repair them right away is the best way to go. Second thing is the nails.
Okay.
Clip your nails. If they're too long, you're gonna make holes on the inside of the Kote.
Okay.
So clip them, like you clip your toenails for Suriashi and Funkomi.
Yeah.
Clip your fingernails too.
Nice. Cool. Good advice. Thank you very much, man. Now, there's some Kote that they get kind of like slimy or slippery in the inside, right? Why does it happen? How can we avoid this? How can we get rid of this? What's going on with this?
You mean slippery on like the atama or the tenuchi?
I think in the Tenouchi, right? I never seen the
Tenouchi?
ones that time. Yeah.
Okay, so this is due to the leather, actually, the material used for the tenuchi. So it depends on the material. If it's deer skin, again, that's the thing. So smoked deer skin will last longer, but because it lasts longer, it actually becomes slick and slippery.
Okay.
So some people prefer to replace the tenuchi sooner, even if it's not broken, because it becomes too slippery.
Okay.
So does it really last longer? Depends on what you like. But there's nothing you can do. Just leather with time will become slick and slippery. So it all depends on the material. If you have synthetic, it's not going to do that. Real deer skin, or sometimes they use pig skin, that will become slippery. There's not much you can do.
Okay.
Some people put water before keiko. They spray the kote with water, so it becomes like a sticky. That slippery stuff it like dissolves and becomes kind of sticky.
I see.
You might do that. Some people do that. I don't.
Okay. Cool. So you already talked about prolonging the life of the kote, but let's say that I'm looking to re-dye my kote. Maybe I'm trying to get, to look my best for my test or whatever, things like this.
Yeah.
Can we do this? Should we do this? How do we do this?
Yeah, you can totally do this. I've done it many times before. How to do it? You just have to buy a aizome bottle.
Yeah.
A bottle of dye. You can find them on most Bogu shops, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, take a brush, put it on, let it dry. That's it.
That's it. It's not like you have to. I seen some like indigo mix and stuff like that you have to like soak the, like dip it in. Have you tried any of this stuff?
No, I would not recommend, because if you dip the tenuchi, then you might have problems after. So it's better to take a brush and just
go around.
Put dye where you want it.
Okay, makes sense.
It's pretty easy to do. Everybody can do it.
Okay. Last stream that I was doing with Nathan, somebody mentioned that they tried it, but they kind of fade quickly. Is there anything to do to make it stay longer, or?
You gotta put more.
Okay.
So maybe 2 or 3 coats.
I see.
That's all you can do.
Okay. When it comes to repairing kote, what are the tools that we need?
The tools is the basic tools are scissors, of course, good scissors, needle, and I don't know how you call it, but it's a type of ring that you put on your finger to push the needle, protects your finger.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know how to call it either, but I know what you're talking about.
So these are the basic tools.
Okay.
Good pair of scissors, good needle, and that ring to protect the fingers.
So when you say good needle, what type of needle should we'll be looking for?
Okay, I'll go get more.
We really putting this man to work today, huh? Let me see, Kakarieko, you said you're getting destroyed by. Sorry, I read this, but I didn't read it out loud. That you're getting hit by mosquitoes, so you're gonna sleep in your Bogu tonight. Yeah. After that, listen, another excuse to do more kendo. Rasha, you said that Kote protectors are really helpful for reducing the pain. And Kakarieko says, is there any difference in the brush? Oh, is there any difference for the Aisome if they use the brush or a spray?
Again, I would say the brush, you have more control. The spray, it kind of goes everywhere. So you're better with a brush or a sponge, something like that.
And Pokemon says a thimble is what we use to push the needle through.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called a thimble.
I didn't know the name. Okay, so I have two needles here. I'll try to show them.
Cover it. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe it's not gonna
really
focus, but it's okay. You
yeah. Just send me a picture and I'll post it on the Discord later. Like send me a picture
so this
later.
this one is straight and
Okay.
it's round.
Okay.
Okay, this is a typical needle that probably all of you have at home. A round, straight needle.
Okay.
I use this type. Might not be able to see, but this one is triangular.
Okay.
Actually, it's not round.
Okay.
Triangular.
Okay.
You can't see, but triangular, but not sharp. They're
Okay.
very specific needles. Usually, you can buy a triangular needle for leather work, but they're sharp. This is bad because if you poke the needle through your own thread, your own stitching, you're gonna cut the previous stitch.
I see.
So it should not be sharp.
Okay.
If you use the round one, the common one, it's gonna be very hard to go through leather.
Okay.
The triangular one is like a pyramid, so it pokes a big hole, and then the needle is smaller, the thread is smaller, so it goes in easier. This type is hard because the thread is thicker than the needle, so once you get to the thread, it's very hard to pull through.
I see.
So I'd say a triangular needle is best, but if that's the only thing you have, then
use that.
this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said that you use triangular needles that are not sharp. So when you buy them, do you unsharp them or like do you buy them already?
I actually don't buy them. I have a big stash from Japan that my sensei gave me.
Yeah.
That's what I use.
Okay, but they came like that. Like they came already unsharp.
Yeah, they came like that.
Okay.
But he told me that it's very hard to find nowadays. They're all sharp, and so he has a big stash.
Nice.
So hopefully we have enough for the rest of our lives.
Nice.
I hope so.
What about the thread that to use to, especially for reattaching the palm or for I lost the light. For reattaching the palm or to maybe put patches on the kote.
Okay, so the best thread is just a regular cotton thread. Again, I'm not sure you're gonna see. Cotton thread, quite thick.
Okay.
Not there's super thick threads for leather work. Again, I have some. Okay, this is a thread for leather work. It's very thick and it's waxed.
Okay.
Very thick, but it's too thick actually for kote. It's gonna make them too stiff.
Okay.
So you gotta use cotton thread for clothing.
Okay.
But it's a bit thicker than the normal one you buy. So a bit thicker. Cotton is the best, I would say, or something around that. Sometimes there's mix, cotton and synthetic mixed together.
Yeah.
And you wax the thread.
Okay. Cool.
So that's the basic thread. Then after, if you go a bit deeper on this stitch, It's gonna be hard to see, but there's a very small stitch to close the kote.
Yeah. Maybe
It's
I can
called a
show.
matsuri stitch.
Maybe I can show my Kote in my camera because we probably have better focus. So you're talking about hold on, let me.
Yes,
The one out here, right? The one in the.
yes, exactly.
Okay,
The
so
final.
let me show
the
to this
final
camera
stitch.
real quick, and it should be able to focus in a second. It's this stitching right here. Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
people look at your kote and the final stitch, that side stitch.
Yeah.
This is a nylon thread, actually, nylon thread. Better for friction. This
Okay.
is the last stitch. That's
Yeah.
what's gonna rub on the shinai.
Mm-hmm.
We use a nylon thread, better for friction.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that. And the biggest one is the palm leather. Finding the palm leather. It's always a challenge, especially I know for my friends in South America. So what are some of the things they can do to either substitute or maybe where can they find this leather?
It's difficult question. Substitute, I'm not quite sure, because it has to do mostly with the tanning process. The deer skin is tanned
Mm-hmm.
for Kendo.
Mm.
There's a specific process to get it for Kendo. I cannot use that skin for other projects like a bag because it's too stretchy. It'll stretch too easily, which is good for Kendo but not good for a bag or a wallet. So the tanning process is the important part. Because it's tanned specifically for Kendo, it's kind of hard to substitute with another material. But like I said, there's kote made with the cotton tenouchi, so that might be a good option. Not gonna last very long, but might be easier to find. And to buy deer skin specifically for Kendo, it's kind of hard too.
Okay.
Like no websites will just sell deer skin like this. You gotta contact the craftsman or the company directly, and maybe they're gonna sell something to you.
So I'm gonna put you in the spot. Will you be willing to sell us some?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry for that, but
no,
it becomes
no.
too complicated. I gotta order from Japan and then gotta ship, and I don't want to get into that.
I got you. So Avi's asking, he has a white deer skin and one of his hands gets thick or hard. Is there a reason for this? Is there an advice for him?
The hand gets thick
or hard. Like he says thick/hard. So I'm guessing maybe the leather hardens.
White deer skin.
White deer skin.
Why? I'm not sure. Maybe sweat. Maybe it became old, or I'm not sure. I would have to see it to answer properly.
Avi, if you can send me a video, maybe send it in Discord. Actually, Francis, if you would like, we have a Discord server. I can send you the link. You can join in there. And I'm also gonna put you the spot right now. You said you might be able to get some of the viewers maybe special price and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. I'll give a discount, but like I said, like I told you, my website is custom made. It's not like a Square website. So it's not easy to actually put a discount on the website. So just message me in private on Facebook. Cool. Tell me I'm from Kendo Tip. Nice. I'll give 10% on any Kote order.
Nice. Okay, cool. So thank you for that. I was just putting the spot there. But Avi, so Francis will be joining there. So maybe you can ask him the questions there, and maybe he can assess, and you know, if you need to have a repair or whatever, he can do that for you. Let me see. Okay, I asked you about the palm, the leather. Now, let's say that I bought a used Kote. I have, you know, something old, whatever. Can I make my Kote better? Uh, or like that's it? Like it only goes down.
Yeah, there's not much you can do if you don't change the palm, the
Mm-hmm.
tenuchi. The kote will stay pretty much the same. You can try and play with it to soften it, but again, if it's already old and used, there's
Mm-hmm.
not much you can do. That's the best you're gonna get out of this kote.
Okay. Now, luckily, I have some Kotes that you know, they're really old Kotes that got sent out to me because you know, I'm from Venezuela, so sometimes I try to send things there. So I'm getting ready
Yeah.
to send some stuff, and I found this Kote that have this damage at the edge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything to do about this, or just let it be?
Yeah. You can cover the edge with leather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an example right here,
But pretty much
the same,
like the lip of
this,
the.
yeah, the same way.
Mm-hmm.
There's a leather edge here.
Yeah.
Same way you can put one on the futon.
Okay.
But now the needle becomes very important because the futon is very
Really
hard.
hard. Yeah.
So if
really
you don't
hard
have
to
a
get.
triangular needle, again, not sharp because there's
Mhm.
stitching on the
Mhm.
futon, you're gonna cut them if it's sharp. Triangular needle, not sharp, really helps. It's a hard repair to do by yourself if you have no experience, I would say.
Okay.
If you have a sewing machine, big sewing machine,
Yeah.
you can do it with that too.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Now, how many times can I replace my palm? Like how it like how how hard can I go on a kote? I guess.
You can repair, change the tenuchi as long as the outside of the kote is good. Then you can change the tenuchi as many times as you want. It's
Okay.
the outside that really matters. If the outside becomes too damaged, there's too many holes, too many patches, then it might be time to buy a new pair.
Okay.
But if the outside is still good, then there's no problem changing the tenuchi.
Denochi. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now
I've seen a 25 years old kote still
still
in
going.
good shape. A few patches on the outside.
Yeah.
The tenuchi had been replaced several times, but they were still good.
Nice. 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 Now there is this big debate, or like you know, I tried it and I had a bad experience. But I'll tell you, what's better, repairing or buying new kote?
Depends on your budget. I would say buying new, of course, new kote if you buy from me or
Mhm.
Shogun Kendo or whatever, they're great. I
Sorry,
think
let me be
you-
specific. Because there's so many like cheaper, much cheaper
Oh,
options.
okay, yeah. No, repairing is better
Okay,
than a
why?
cheap kote. Why?
Mm.
Because repairing. Okay, so the whole thing is cheap kote are all machine stitched, all of it. The tenuchi, the edge, it's all machine stitched. So there's very little control on the fit of the kote. They take a tenuchi and they just stitch around and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's why it doesn't fit very well. When it's repaired, maybe not every craftsman, but usually it's hand stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And with hand stitch, you have more control on the stitching and on the shape.
Mm.
So you can actually get a better shape with hand stitch or with repair than a cheap kote, which is just factory made with a machine.
So what you're saying is that even a cheap kote, if it gets repaired, will probably get a better fit than the one I got from the fabric.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's good to know. And this is the bad experience that I had. I bought a cheap pair just to try, because normally I repair.
Yes.
Because as you know, I really like the kotes that I have, but I just did it to try. Let me see. I think it was like $120, something like that. And again, the fit, the feeling of the shinai, it's horrible, and it took me about 4 months to kind of get a decent grip on them, and still they don't feel as good. Okay, so Catherine Thompson, she's saying that it's possible to get a smoked tan deer skin from sources. native and otherwise that use deer skin for moccasin
Yeah.
making and stuff like that. But what you said is a little bit different because of the process of the tanning, and the process makes it more elastic for Kote. That's different
Yeah,
than.
I looked into that a little bit. I found some places, but I never bought anything, so I never really tried it.
Mm-hmm.
On the pictures, it looks pretty similar to what I use,
Mm-hmm.
so might be a good option, but I would have to try it because again, I don't know about the elasticity and all of that. But yeah, it looked good. They use smoked deer skin as well, so maybe
Okay.
I should look more into that.
Well, if anybody wants to buy him a piece of leather and send it to him so he can check it, you're welcome to do that.
Yeah, actually, I'll show you the difference in the tanning process.
So sorry guys that sometimes he has to run out. It's because we had some connection problems. He couldn't do the stream in his shop, so sometimes he gets a little bit it gets cut off like this. But just so you know guys, please, if you haven't, hit the like button so that way this this stream gets pushed out to more people. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, it really helps the channel grow and more people to get this information, which I think is priceless. And yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. So this is cow skin, cow leather.
Okay.
Used for wallets and bags.
Mm-hmm.
Brown cow skin. If I make a little cut here,
Mm-hmm.
see,
Yeah.
I can rip it easy.
Uh-huh.
This is a deer skin,
Okay.
smoked deer skin used for kote. If I make a little cut and I try to rip it, very hard,
Okay.
almost impossible to rip. Even if I try very
Okay.
hard, it's not gonna rip. So that's the main difference. And again, this one will stretch quite easy, while this one doesn't really stretch.
You know what?
So
This is something
tanning
that
process.
this is something that I've been thinking back when I was in Japan. I passed by Seishō Canada, and your sensei, right? Like your
Yeah.
Okay. He had a bag of like the scraps of leather, and he was about to throw out. I was like, can I send it? Can I get this to send to Venezuela, right, for patches and stuff like that?
Yes.
So I don't know if it will be a cool suggestion. I don't know, it's an idea. Maybe you can throw a little pieces in there in the packaging, so maybe they can do patches
Maybe,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe like make it like a cute. You can even put your logo in there. I don't know. Just throwing ideas in there.
But again, if you want scrap leather, that there's no problem. I can ship, I can send. I have tons of it, but there's not enough for a full tenuchi. It's only patches.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
But also, I remember on the last stream that I did with Nathan, you made the suggestion of using the Tsukagawa leather as patching
Yes.
too, right?
That also. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good point. Avi, I haven't asked this question already, but I guess I'll ask it now just because I know you're here. And it's a question that I had prepared for you, Francis. Is there a difference or any type of modification to help with Jodan or Nito players?
Yes, actually, for Jodan players, usually the right kote has more padding. For Jodan players, I do both the same or only the left one with more padding, depending on what the player wants. I don't really change the shape of the kote because first I don't know too much about Jodan, so I don't want to, go that route. I still use the same shape for Chudan, and I guess this works for Jodan. There's more, the wrist is more bent for Jodan.
Okay.
My kote, they have a longer tekubi.
Okay.
So this helps a lot. But yeah, it's mainly the padding on the futon.
Okay, so your content naturally already have the longer tekubi, so it helps already.
Yeah.
The other thing I know from, because Avi, he does Nito, and he has talked to me a lot about what he does, and they do a lot of overextension of the wrist. So I'm guessing
Yeah.
with your tekubi already, you already have
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
This, you already have this functionality integrated in your kote. Let me see. Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, obviously I'm gonna ask very general in this question, but
Sure.
what is the cost of getting the palm replaced?
The cost is $55 per kote.
Okay,
So
and
110 for a pair.
okay, 110.
Canadian dollars.
Nice. Canadian dollars. Okay. So
Yes.
I don't know how much. Let me just make a quick calculation, because I know maybe it's easier for some people to do US dollars, right? So let me see. That's about, for both bro. You are really, yeah, because this is really hard to find in most places. I know sometimes you find it for. I think the cheapest I found is like $60, but you're doing $85 for both Kote. So thank you for
Yes.
doing that, because that's amazing. Which takes me to my next question: what is the process for me to get my Kote repair? How do I go about it in order to do that?
Okay, so you message me on Facebook, Instagram, or through my website.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you my address,
Mm-hmm.
ship the kote, take your hand measurements. I'll explain all of this in private. And that's it. I'll repair them and ship them back.
Okay, so if I have you on a stream, can I ask you to have a Kote repair in a stream through here instead of sending you a
Yeah,
message?
sure. Sure.
Okay, I have two Kote that need to be repaired. Okay, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you're familiar with this Kote, so I'm sure that you will do a great work on them. But my palm is,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this needs to be
It's done.
replaced, right? It's done.
Yeah.
And then this one is not done, but it's going that way, so I'd rather just do it now. But I have a little,
Yeah.
right?
It's better.
Because I know if the hole, and this may be something useful for people to know, that if I had the hole in the middle, I could patch it, but down here it's really hard
It's
to get that,
harder.
right? So
Yes.
I rather you take care of it before anything. So yeah, okay, like send me your address in private, because I don't want you to send it out here like this,
Yeah.
or your shipping address, and I will send this maybe this week.
Good.
That being said, I don't know if I had another question about that. Okay. So in the stream that I had with Nathan, somebody mentioned the mixture of using alcohol and I think it's like tea tree oil, stuff like that, to disinfect and change the smell. I personally like the Kote smell, but I know some people don't. So what are your suggestions? You have any secrets to make the Kote not so smelly and so on?
Again, it's drying is
Mm-hmm.
the best way. You have to dry them quickly. Well, not quickly, but right away. Don't leave them in your Bogu bag for a few hours or a few days. Now it's gonna smell. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So proper ventilation, proper drying right away is the best way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I would not recommend alcohol, anything that is alcohol based, because the alcohol can attack the leather again. Yeah, so I personally, I don't do anything. I just dry them, stretch the palm, dry them. That's it.
Nice.
If really your sweat smells bad and the cote they really smell bad, then maybe some type of oil or essence
Yeah.
might help. But I would not use alcohol. That's
Okay.
for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
My recommendation, and this is something I do, is I wash my hands before getting
Yeah.
into Kendo, right? So
Yeah.
because sometimes I come from work and whatever, and like it's not
Yeah.
not the healthiest for your kote. Aisha, I guess she saw your website. She says hi, and she says that she loves your work. So
Thank you.
maybe you will get an order for Tunisia, because that's where I believe where she's at.
Oh.
So now I kind of want to start transitioning into buying a customized Kote and buying from you and some of the things that we get from doing that. So let me start first about making the difference between the stock Kote. When we buy stock Kote, there's a broad range of prices from very cheap to the very expensive. From stock Kote, what are we getting from the higher prices that we're not getting from the cheap prices?
Mostly, so okay, it depends. Right away, if it's made in Japan, the price is higher right away. With little difference in the kote itself, it's just made in Japan. People in Japan are paid higher wages, so the kote is more expensive.
Okay.
That's the first thing. Second might be a material. Of course, a deerskin kote is more expensive than orizashi because deerskin is more expensive.
Yeah.
And third will be the stitching. So machine stitch, futon, or tezashi, hand stitch, futon. This will do a big difference in the price.
Okay.
Tezashi is much more expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even at this point that they're not custom made, they just stock, all this stuff will give you a higher price. Tobias asking, for on long seminars when you go several days and you practice a lot, is it safe to use, for example, a hair dryer for the kote?
Yeah, I think it's fine. Just don't do it too much and not too hot. Some people they use like shoe drying.
I use that before
I don't know how you call
the
them.
boot dryers. I think you can
Yes,
put
exactly.
the kote on top.
That is okay, but not too hot, not too high. I think it should be fine. Yeah.
But the other advice, Tobias, maybe you weren't here, is that you should have one kote per practice. So if you're practicing three times in one day, you should have 3 kotes there that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe at least 1 kote per day, right? No, you said 1 kote per day of practice, so definitely.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Now.
But that's all. That's all for you. If you want to use the same pair, there's no problem. But it's gonna break quickly.
Yeah.
I saw one time in Japan. It was a high school student. He practiced twice a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Not even 6 months after the kote were done.
Yes.
Inside, outside, finished. So he used the same pair twice a day, 6 days a week. You can do it, but you're gonna break your kote pretty quickly. When they're wet, soaking wet, they break easy.
Yeah, totally. No, and it's funny because that's one of the reasons why this kote that I'm sending to you got like this, is because I was practicing when I was practicing in Japan. I had 3 pairs of kote, and it got to a point where like none of them dried.
Yeah.
Right. So I started using the gloves under the kote as well. So I know they break so quick when you're practicing like this. Okay, and Tobias said, okay, he has a stash of 7 pairs, so maybe that's what he's going to do for it. That's the best. Let me see. Okay, so now that you explained the difference between the stock kote, tell us, what are we getting from a custom-made, custom-fit kote that we're not getting from the stock?
Yeah, so custom made or custom fit or order made, it's all the same thing, is basically it's the size of the kote. The size will be to your exact hand measurements, left and right hand, because sometimes there's a difference between the 2 hands. This really does a difference, because I have this one. Okay, this one is cheap kote off the shelf for my size, okay? So the length is good. I would say the length is good. Thumb finger length as well, but it's way too narrow for my hand. Really, I have trouble holding shinai.
Okay.
So this is what you're gonna get from off the shelf. Some measurements fit, others they don't fit. Custom made, I take several measurements. This one around the hand, this is pretty common, but I also use around the fingers and thumb finger length.
Okay.
And all these measurements I use to properly fit the kote to your hand. So it's not going to be too narrow or too wide, not going to be too long or too short. So right away when you receive the kote, they fit correctly. And after 1 or 2 keiko, it's done. The fit is perfect.
Perfect.
So that's the main difference, I would say.
Okay, cool. So, out of curiosity, how long does it take for me to get my kote once you have everything that you need from my side?
For a new pair or for repair?
For new. If I'm buying
New.
yeah.
At the moment, it's a 3 months waiting list. At the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it obviously depends on your demand.
Yes.
For
yes.
But for
what? I'll always say it to the client when they order 3 months or 2 months or 4 months,
depending how much work you have on your plate. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Let me see. Next question. Actually, Tobias was asking the same question as I was asking it, so I think that answered your question, right, Tobias? Okay, next question. Let me see. What is your process of making the kote? Like, guide us a little bit through what you go through as you're making the kote for us.
Okay, so after I get the order, I look at the order, what the kote is made of.
Yeah.
That's the first step is selecting the material. So if it's orizashi, then I go get orizashi. If it's leather, I go get leather. Cut all the pieces. Then I assemble the atama like this, right?
Okay.
This one is empty. And fill it. Fill it is the first step. After I put deer hair in it, fill it. Then I add tenuchi according to the specific measurements. Tenuchi, the edge. After put the edge. Then I have to make the futon on the machine. And last step is putting the atama and the futon together.
Okay.
And makes a complete kote. Then I make sure everything is correct. There's no mistake, nothing. Then I soften a little bit the kote, and then packaging and shipping.
Nice. I was gonna say, what is the part that is the most challenging for you? Or like, not the most challenging, because obviously you're a professional in this, but like the one that takes you the most time, the one that you have to really put much more care when making the kote.
The most challenging has always been the deer hair filling for me. Deer hair filling looks simple, and it can be simple if you want it to be simple, but what is difficult for me is, there's these like pockets, different pockets on the kote. I try to get the hair the same shape as the pocket. See?
Okay.
So I want the hair to do like a U shape here.
I see.
And here I want the hair to follow that curve. So that is very difficult because you cannot see what you're doing, right? It's inside the kote, so you gotta go all by feeling.
I see.
So that takes time and experience, and still it's the hardest part for me, is filling properly the kote.
Yes. Yeah. But it makes the difference in the fit.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
Big difference. Ideología. He has a question that has to do about your opinion on how other shops conclude their business. So I'm gonna leave that for the last section, which is kind of like the fun questions and so on. Okay, so you already told us a little bit of the connection that you've made on the design between functionality and what you want to do and stuff like that. But so tell us a little bit about these things. What is your goal? Why do you do the kotes this way? What are you looking to offer or to produce when you do the kotes this way?
My thinking is, and again, I come from woodworking. I'm a woodworker, so my thinking has always been. There's a saying, a craftsman never blame his tools, and I agree, but I don't agree. Doesn't mean you should have a cheap tool, because if you have the best tools, then you're sure if you do a mistake, it's on you and not on the tool. This is my whole idea with the Kote is if you have a good Kote that fits properly, that's well built and will last, then every mistake you make or every bad kendo you make is all on you and not on your gear. You cannot blame it on anything else than yourself. And I think that helps your kendo a lot.
I really love this perspective. It makes a lot of sense because, I told you already, I have this pair of Kote that they don't fit me very well. Like, I don't have a good grip. So I can see myself saying like, oh, I couldn't do this today because my Kote.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because not only, and I'm not saying that to blame the Kote, but I know this because I have the experience with better Kote. And I can feel the limitation of it. So, okay, I understand what you're saying. And I'm just going to point out that, okay, your Kotes are a little bit more expensive than some, because not even all, some of the rack Kote. But not only that, yours are going to last much more longer and yours are going to give the best fit. So this is why a few years back, even before I went to Japan, I made the decision of saying, okay, for me, the men and the Kote, I'm always gonna buy custom made.
Yes.
Right? I bought this last off the shelf, kind of to try again and again. It just reassured my belief. Kote and men should be custom made. Right?
Yeah.
Best fit, definitely best results. So maybe this question is a little bit related to what you said already, but maybe not. I'm gonna ask you, what makes your Kote yours?
I guess it's my hands. I make them handmade, so it's impossible to have two Kote exactly the same. And because they're custom made to a specific measurement, I would say, that's what makes them my Kote is my hands, because you might have noticed they're pretty similar to Shogun Kendogu's Kote, right? Because it's my sensei. Basically same design, but the feeling is different because he doesn't have the same hands that I have. He doesn't do exactly the same way, the deer hair filling and the tenuchi stitching. So the overall fit is, I would say, overall feeling is not the same, even though the Kote look the same. Yeah, I would say this is the biggest thing.
Nice. And of course, for me also, for everything you have said, just your thought process on designing your Kote, for me, it's what's, driving me to enjoy what you do. Tobias said it's like an artist who paints a picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, because I moved my computer again. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. So I know we talked a little bit about this, but just because I'm talking specifically about your Kote, what are some of the modifications that we can ask from you when building the Kote? You said that you like to avoid, or you don't do the kasari, the decoration on the on the atama. So what can we get? What customizations can we get from your Kote?
Yeah, so Besides, of course, outside material and tenuchi material and the padding of the futon, you can choose the millimeter on the futon. That's for sure. With all of my kote, you choose the millimeter.
Okay.
And yeah, like I said, kazari color, I do exclusively for California Budogu. If you ask me personally, I'm not gonna change the color. You have to go on California Budogu for that.
Okay.
Customization, yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it. You can ask for less padding on the atama, less deer hair for again competition, or maybe more deer hair for more protection. But that's it. Yeah, I honestly I don't like flashy things. I don't like going crazy with the colors or with other shapes or decoration. I don't see the point. It just takes me more time, and more time I spend on all of this is less time I'm gonna spend on the fit. That's for sure. Because but if you want to pay, I don't know, $2,000 for a pearl cote, yeah, I can do whatever, but you're gonna have to pay. Yeah.
So you sell your soul, but for the right price. That's good. So let me see. You talked a little bit about designing your own Bogu for the future. We talked a little bit about this, but when it comes to your shop, any ideas for expansion? Any ideas for the futures? What's your vision for your company?
Yeah, so I want to expand. I'm in the process of expanding, and again, I think it goes with my whole idea about the kote. I want to do the same thing for the full bogu and even shinai and all of this. Is the big problem I have with most bogu shop is there's too much choice for beginners or people that don't know nothing about bogu.
Yeah.
They're so lost. You go on, sorry, but Ibogu or Budo AOI or whatever. You go on the kote section, there's 20, 30, 40 kote. You don't know what to choose.
Yes.
And they're all pretty similar, but there's slight differences, and there's words in Japanese and all of that, and you're just lost, and you go, okay, this one is cheap, I'll take this one. That really annoys me. So I want to build a bogu shop that is simple, less choices, all good quality, and less flashy things, but better fit, better product, better materials for the whole bogu, for the shinai, for all of it.
Nice.
That's my main vision.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, because even in Shinai, there's so many different options that you can be overwhelmed, and at the end of the day, you buy it, but then you buy it 3 months later, and you don't get the same Shinai. So
yes,
it's
true.
crazy. Okay. Anything else that you would like to express? So I want to pass on to the next section with kind of a little bit of fun questions and a little bit of insight from your side. But anything else you want to share about your company, your thought process, your kote in general?
Anything else I want to share? I would just maybe say that craftsmanship is my passion. So I really put some effort in every kote I make. I know sometimes for some people it's expensive a little bit, but I can guarantee I put at the moment a lot more work than the price of the kote. That's for sure.
Nice, cool. So with this, Hidrologias asked earlier a bit about companies. What are your thoughts on some companies that they kind of pretend to be manufacturers, but all they do is, buy products from somewhere else, like Korea, whatever, and then sell it to you as if they made it. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts. I try to do business like I do Kendo, so it's straight, honest, and no tricks. So I really don't like this type of business, lying and saying whatever just to get more sales.
Mm.
I really don't like that, and lots of them they do it.
Okay.
I don't do that, and I will never do that.
Kind of to piggyback a little bit from that question, because you know he mentioned Korea as well. So, and you mentioned before about when a Kote is made in Japan, immediately the price is higher.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Because I'm guessing main suppliers or main manufacturers are either Japan, Korea, and China, I believe, right?
China, yeah.
So, what is your opinions on these three places of manufacture? What are we getting when we're getting things from them?
I would say it's not about the country, it's about the craftsmen. So Chinese, Korean, or Japanese, there's good craftsmen everywhere. If you buy a hand stitch set, a tezashi from China, it's so beautiful, beautifully made. All the stitches are perfect. They're well aligned. They're very good craftsmen. I'd say this doesn't really matter, but like I said, in Japan, the minimum wage is higher. So of course, the craftsman's salary is going to be higher than in China. So you're going to pay more. If it's made in Japan, doesn't mean it's better. It's just you're going to pay more. The biggest thing I would say is for smaller companies, usually the craftsmen and the owners, they practice Kendo. So that helps a lot, especially for the Kote, because they can understand the proper shape it has to get, and they can understand where you get hit often.
Yes.
So they put more padding on these places. Big manufacturers like China, sometimes, you know, it's just work for the craftsmen. They don't know nothing about Kendo. They probably never seen or never heard of Kendo. They just make the stuff.
Yeah.
So the result might be more bulky, less comfortable. Yeah.
I actually had a little bit of experience on that. I found a Chinese manufacturer a while back, and I bought a set to kind of try it out, and this is what I noticed, that I could tell that the person making it didn't really understand Kendo, because you know it was stiff in the wrong places, it was soft in the wrong places. The look was the same. They're really good. I felt like this company was really good at copying the look, but the fit wasn't quite right. Cool.
Exactly. And again, the craftsmen are good. I don't want to say like Japanese craftsmen are better than Chinese craftsmen. Chinese craftsmen are very good at what they do. They just some companies, they don't understand Kendo, and that's when you're gonna see Kote like this instead of like this.
Yes.
Because for them, holding something, right? You hold a hammer, you hold whatever, you hold like this, but actually we hold more like this. So these type of things will make a big difference.
Yes, totally. Okay. What are some of the challenges that maybe if we're trying to do some of the repairs, maybe something that you go through, challenges of working with leather? Over fabric, I mean, you know, like different. Like,
First one is hardness. Leather is harder, thicker. It's harder to push the needle through. So again, the right needle, the right technique is really gonna help. This is compared to fabric is much easier, like orizashi. And needle control, I would say, is the big thing that is hard for beginners maybe, or someone who's trying to fix this as a hobby, is needle control. Where you go in and where you come out is very important, but that's hard to do because once the needle goes in, you don't know where it is in the leather, so you gotta kind of feel where it's gonna come out.
Okay.
And
come on.
These are the big things.
I tried it a while back to try to at least put patches, and I can tell that for me it was really difficult exactly what you're saying, like coming in and getting out in the right place,
Yeah.
and then finding the spot to go back in, to go back. Yeah, it was a big challenge for me. That being said, maybe in another time, would you be willing to sit down with us and maybe make a little bit of like a repair seminar, repair thing that we can work together, and maybe you can show us how to put the patch correctly and things like this? Would you be willing
Yeah,
to do
sure.
something? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
for
if
sure.
people wants to have that, maybe we can organize it and get that done. Now, you said you lived in Japan for 10 months.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your experience of being in Japan for that long? How is it different than going for just 2 months?
I loved it. First of all, I loved it.
Yeah.
When you live in a country, is very different than when you travel, because now you're actually doing like everyday stuff, going to the grocery store, going to the drugstore, and whatever,
Yeah.
taking the train. So yeah, that's very different when you live in a country than when you visit. Japan fits with me, I think. I could live in Japan. I could. Fits with me, the whole mentality, the whole working hard, giving your best, and all that. Yeah, that I like. But really, for my last stay, I worked a lot, which I loved it, but I worked a lot. Didn't travel too much, so I cannot say for like sightseeing.
Yeah.
Some people here might have seen more than me, actually, even if I stayed a year in Japan, because I was I was working.
Yeah. Doing
Yeah.
the things, everyday things. What are some of the challenges that you had while being there? Some things that might be-
Language is a big one. I don't speak Japanese, or hardly speak Japanese, and they don't speak English, so that's the big thing. The other one is people might know that, but the how can I say, the ranking, like in Kendo, like senpai, kohai, sensei.
Yeah.
It can become quite difficult for somebody who's not used to it. For a short period is okay, like when we go to Kendo or whatever, but for when you live there, sometimes you want to talk back or say something or say I don't agree.
Yeah.
But you just cannot do that in Japan. If the senpai says something, oh, you should do like this because it's like this, and you want to say I prefer this way, or I want to do this or that, you can't. You just say hi, okay, and then in your head you're kind of mad.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. Yeah, that's hard sometimes.
Definitely. Let me see. While you were there, you said that anime kind of. Can you hear me? Hello. I think I lost connection. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm getting another call from him. Let me see. Oh. Yep. Okay, I lost the connection. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Wait, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, my computer the internet went out for some reason for a few seconds, but I'm here. So my question was, Kendo anime, Kendo manga, did you find any while you were in Japan?
Not really. I watched anime when I was younger, maybe 17, 18, but at some point I just stopped. I lost interest, and now I hardly watch any anime. Yeah, sorry for anime fans, but yeah.
No, I got you. I was the same. Now I'm trying to get back into it just because I am getting so many references, and I kind of want to get the reference when the people are telling to me.
Yeah.
But no, I totally understand. Um, when I started Kendo, I did start because of anime, but then when I moved to
Okay.
the US, I kind of lost contact with anime and manga. And I couldn't really reconnect the same way from when back when. Um, what was I gonna say? Uh, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you about your Kendo rank.
Yeah, I'm a Kendo Sandan.
Nice, nice. And you've been doing Kendo since you were like how many years you said?
15.
15. Okay.
12 years of Kendo now.
Okay. And how long you been doing Kote?
6 years now.
6 years. So
6 years.
if you have to go from Shodan to Hachidan, what dan do you feel that you are in Kote craftsmanship?
Oh, maybe Nidan, Shodan Nidan.
Okay, maybe because
I'd
I
say
am.
Nidan.
Maybe because I am. I don't have any dan. Yours Kote looks much higher than that. But
Yeah, but
with,
it's same as Kendo, right? It goes like this, and then at some point it's so slow to actually get to
totally.
the end, but it's long time.
So you have more years in Kendo than craftsmanship, but how much? Who has more time, Kendo or craftsmanship? Which one have you put more time?
Craftsmanship. Yeah, for sure, craftsmanship. Yeah,
Yes.
Kendo is only 2 or 3 times a week, 2 hours. Craftsmanship, when I was in Japan, is 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week.
Yes,
It goes
yes,
much quicker.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. So I think this is why maybe your Dan level in Kote is much higher.
Maybe, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You're humble. You're humble. I know. Let me ask you this: what do you feel are some of the mistakes that beginners make when buying Kote or maintaining their Kote?
Yeah, for buying Kote, the biggest mistake is not asking questions. Not asking questions to the craftsman or to the company or to your senpai. Just, I see so many beginners, they just show up with a Bogu. Oh, I bought this. Well, you know nothing about Bogu, so you shouldn't buy anything before you ask questions.
Yeah.
And if the senpai, they can't answer you, then ask me or ask other, other people like Nathan last week. They will answer your questions before you buy. That's the biggest thing. And again, for maintaining is drying. Always drying properly, well ventilated is really the key.
The key. Nice. Okay, cool. You have anything else you want to share with us? Anything that that you want to help us understand or anything?
I don't think so. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram.
Cool,
please.
cool. Yes. Let me send out the links for people to start doing there. But if you join the Discord, he's going to be on the Discord as well. So you can contact him there and you can find all his links there. Let me just make sure that I have.
And don't hesitate to ask questions, please.
Yes.
Even if you don't want to buy something from me personally, but you saw something on another website, you want advice or whatever, send it to me. I'll gladly answer.
Francis, I think maybe it will be easier for you than it is for me right now. But if you have the links, I can put in the stream right now. If you can just message me through Facebook for people to start catching you on the social media. I'll also put it on the things on the description box, just so everybody knows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get kind of like the most useful sections of the stream and I'm gonna put them in shorter videos, so it's easier for everybody to find. If you have any other questions right now while we are, settling down here, please ask it so that way I can ask him. You can have him have the question asked live here. Let me see. So I'm gonna put the website. I'm gonna put everything on the chat. Okay. And Instagram. I'm missing Instagram. Let me see. Let me see. And then Instagram. Oh wait, no, this is Facebook says. Oh, for Instagram, hold on. For
It's all
some reason,
Seishō Canada.
Okay.
Everywhere you go is
Yeah.
Seishō Canada.
Okay, let me just
I'm the only one, so it's easy to find.
no social media. Okay. So, guys, just find him, and at least, as I said, he's making himself available for questioning. I always say that information, it's what's gonna get us to get better in general, and I love the fact that now we have a craftsman that is, a fully English and open person that we can ask questions about, because this is something that I feel like before has been impossible, right? Even for you, you had the language barrier and you had to go learn through, like we have this expression in my country, kind of like through blood, you learn all this craftsmanship, but he now is able to share a lot of the information that we need in order for us to do better Kendo directly without having to have somebody in between to translate and withholding information. Osidio says, thank you for all the info. Getting to understand the preferences, how you craft your kote has impressed him. So he's definitely getting his next pair from you. And
Thank
again,
you.
remind him that you're coming from here, so he might treat you a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? But Francis, man, thank you very much. I'm sure
My
that we're
pleasure.
gonna. I hope that we get to do many more things together. So if in any way I can help you with anything, please let me know. If you want to come visit Miami, just saying, let me know. I'll take you to the best places, show you the best food. Tobias saying, thank you very much for your time and sharing your knowledge. Guys, I cannot stress enough. I'm so impressed on his kote because my favorite kote are the same thing that he's making right now. So, and at least I have somebody that I can just literally talk and ask specifically what I want. I think that's for today. Oh, and Tobias is saying that if you want to go to Hamburg in Germany, you have a place
good.
over there.
Okay.
I'm sure Jan is not here, so Jan will probably say the same. Hidrología says he wishes you the best. And again, guys, don't hesitate in contacting him. And if you pass by the Discord server, which I don't know why the Discord server didn't show in the thing, I'm gonna send you the link to Francis.
Yeah.
Just I'll make sure to introduce you again over there. Let me just get the link. Just trying to give a little bit of time for people that anybody wants to ask any other questions. But for everybody, I'm gonna put the Discord link in the chat, and for Francis, I'm sending it to you right now as well. Join us there, and we're happy to have you. So okay, I think that's it for today. I'm sure that we will be in contact.
Yes, for sure.
Much more. Okay. Thank you very much, Francis. I'll catch you later.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
See you.
Bye. So, okay, let me go back in here. Guys, everybody that was here, thank you very much for passing by. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Really helps. It helps me get this to more people. And hit the like button if you haven't. It's also very helpful. As I mentioned before, I have what's it called, enable the membership for the channel. I'm planning on doing some special things for the members, some exclusive streams, and also some streams that you can only chat if you're a member. So if you would like to be part of that, consider becoming a member. There's a couple of extra perks there. You can check them out. And as a matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the link real quick. But I'm gonna say I really appreciate everybody being here. Your questions really help me as well, because I get to see all these things and just learn more also from your point of view. Hidrologías Ambiente, you say Kike Ortiz Andres. I know I've seen your name a lot. Are you in the Discord? I think I've seen you on Facebook, right? And I think, yes. Sorry, I mean, like, so many names. I'm horrible with names. So my apologies. But thank you for passing by. And again, one of the things that I love about this channel, and one of the things that my main goal of this is not only to promote Kendo and to pass information along, but also to build friendships. And again, if anybody wants to practice with me anytime I travel, please let me know. And your guys are welcome. If you're traveling to Miami, let me know. Catherine, you said welcome to Chiang Mai, Thailand too. Okay, Thailand. I've been wanting to visit Thailand, so that will be kind of a cool experience. Have a couple friends there too, so maybe you guys know each other. But I will say that this channel, really, I want to promote friendship in Kendo and for everybody to just help each other to grow their Kendo. That's why I have the Discord, and that's why I do this. But that's enough for today. I'm going to stop rambling for today. Thank you very much, guys, for passing by. I really appreciate you. You guys keep me motivated to keep growing, so I hope I can do the same for you. You guys, please share this with somebody you feel they can get some benefit. And in the meantime, thank you very much for passing by. Stay tuned for the next streams and videos. Take care, guys.